Every day, ordinary people make extraordinary choices as they negotiate unpredictable pathways to the peak of their expectations without ever taking the time to enjoy the view. Join me, Tish Tindall, at this panoramic viewpoint of astonishing personal and professional progress as we find out why my next guest is living the fabulous life. Tito Jackson, thank you so much for joining me today on The Fabulous Life. I can't believe that you're talking to me. Where are you today, Tito?
I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Wow, that's a long way away from Lossiemouth in the north of Scotland.
Yes, that's quite a journey.
It really is. It really is. And you have a new album out called Tito Time?
Yes, I do.
Wow, can you tell me
Uh-huh.
much about that? I know is there a heavy blues influence there?
Not on this one. On the
No, not
next one
no.
that now soon there will be. But the Tito Time is basically an album that I had been promising myself that I would do before I retire and that whole thing. And being successful at a young age and traveling with the Jackson Five at the time when Michael and Jackie and Jermaine and everyone was doing solo releases. I was a young father and I wanted to spend the time with my kids, 3T.
Yeah.
So I just put my album project on the back burner and work with their musical career, that whole thing, because they wanted to be musicians, of course. And now it's Tito's time. That's why I named it that.
It absolutely is. And who do you think have been your main influences as a guitarist?
Well, I've always been very interested in the blues, basically. So I look at people like B.B. King and Albert Collins and people of that nature. B.B. King's being like my hero.
Yeah. And did you meet BB King?
Yes, I did. I met B.B. King on quite a few occasions, and I would go down to his concerts when he was in the area of in Calabasas, California, and
Yeah.
I would go to a and he had a portion in this show where he would invite musicians to perform with him, but you had to bring your own guitar. And I didn't know this. And so I was there, and I think it was another celebrity there, and he had a guitar with him. I'm saying, "Why you have a guitar with you?" He said, "There's a part." He told me about the portion in the show. I said, "Wow." I said, "I don't have a guitar." So I say, I'm going to run home and get my guitar because I only live maybe in 15 minutes from there. And when I ran home to get and got back, the show was over with. So never got a chance to jam with BB King. And the second time I had gone to Shumash Casino near San Ynez and took my mom to the show and brought my guitar at that time and that whole thing. But he cut that portion out of his show. So it
Oh,
never
no.
happened. I'm sitting in the audience with a guitar and, and he never did that. Yeah,
Oh,
so
no.
I never,
And
but
was the
I visit his museums and things like that and followed his career along the way.
and what about the blues, so fascinates you, Tito?
Well, that's what I started to play, and my father played. I think it was inherited then when I was a young kid. My father and his brother, Uncle Luther, played a lot of blues every weekend, and I grew to like the music. It did something for me. And actually, I believe that's the music that brought me to the guitar.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that you, practiced the guitar so that you could play all the popular hits of the day. That was something that your father asked you to do.
Yeah, my father said, "I want you to learn every song you hear on the radio," basically, and I would be playing these songs that I'm hearing on the radio, and Jackie and Jermaine and myself, we'd be singing the lyrics, and That's how we formed the little band, you know, our first musical band. Uh, my father had bought himself another guitar, so he was letting me use the guitar. So I taught Jermaine how to play the bass parts on the guitar. You know, maybe a little while after, I had guitar freedom, and we would sing just as the three of us, while Michael Marlon were just little babies playing with toys. So they weren't part of that until they
No.
got old.
And when I've watched, you obviously all my life and, watching you in the Jackson 5 and you're playing the guitar at the same time as you're doing the choreography, at the same time as you are singing. How do you do that?
Well, I I grew up doing that. Uh, it was something that you had to dance. You had to move, is what my father said. You got to move. You can't just stand still on stage playing the guitar. Of course, singing the background part. So that's I would do the easier dance steps that the brothers would do, and whatever, or catch the dynamic part of the dance. You know,
And
so.
is that something that you enjoyed doing the choreography?
Oh no, I'm not a dancer. I don't enjoy dancing as well as the singing and the instrumental part of it. But who always amazed me was my brother Jermaine, the way he played and sang and danced at the same time, because he would be doing lead singing and playing the bass like he's a separate person and didn't miss a lick.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
did you find after you were playing the guitar that you were exploring other instruments, or is the guitar always been your main instrument?
The guitar has always been my main instrument. I did play other instruments at the age. I was playing saxophone, tenor saxophone, which I lost that somewhere. I think I lost that when the Motown thing came in, and
Okay.
the yeah, and I think they stopped the band program or something once I got to junior high.
Yeah.
You know that whole thing.
And that's something to play as well. You've got to have the right mouth shape to play the saxophone. Did you find that that interfered with your singing, or were you not singing by then?
No, I was singing then.
Wow.
No, I never did it that way. I just did what I did, you know. and- Yeah, yes.
Still amazing though to be dancing and singing and, playing at the same time. Your family, do they all play instruments as well? I know, obviously, they're all very famous with their own
Uh,
careers.
We all follow a little bit with the piano. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
But we had when I was growing up, we had this trombone.
yeah,
We didn't have a saxophone, I don't believe. Maybe we did. We had a trombone and a violin. And so we would mess around with that, all the time. But no one really took it very seriously, except for I did with the guitar and Jermaine did with the bass guitar. My brother Randy is a musician. He learned on his own to play the piano, and he plays congas,
yeah,
yeah, drums.
yeah.
So yeah,
And so when you're producing, your albums, are you very aware of everything that each instrument needs to have to sound its best?
yes, yeah, well, yeah, you're aware of the feeling of the instrument and how the player feels, and the feelings that the player is presenting from himself to the instrument, to the recording. So all of that, yes, it's very important.
And that's something that's very difficult to communicate. We have a performing arts college here, and it's sometimes very difficult to communicate to the musicians that they are in fact communicating when they are making a recording. They've got to think how it's going to get from the page to the stage, and from the stage to the recording. It's a world of its own, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you could take three notes, and there's 100 ways to play those three notes.
Yeah, BB King.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The feeling and staccato or what have you, is. important, like I said.
Oh, it is. And have you ever found the comfort um, in playing with other musicians and singers? Other than the Jackson Five, has there been a similar comfort you've found, or is that just something that's very unique?
Well, I've done stuff with other musicians lately, but back in the day when the Jackson Five were extremely busy, I didn't get the chance to jam or play other musics or whatever. There was enough music in the Jackson Five repertoire of music that I didn't need to. Something I wish I had have done, but now today that we've slowed down somewhat, uh, um, I get to play with other musicians. I've I've been playing with the BB King Blues Band,
Wow.
and that was quite exciting until COVID hit recently.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I'm, I'm in the midst of putting together a blues album. I haven't given it a name of it as yet, but I have some great collaborations on it, and I plan to have it finished and released by May,
Wow.
May,
And are you
June.
managing to collaborate during the pandemic?
Yes, yes, I've done a collaboration with Colette King, who
Wow.
BB King's daughter,
Yeah.
beautiful voice, with the BB King Blues Band, and also George Benson
Okay.
and Eddie Levert. So I have a few artists. I'm working with Kingfish very soon. He's a blues artist, and Samantha Fish.
Wow. This sounds incredible, this album. And you think that it might be out in May?
Yes, that's my aim.
Wow.
That's my
And
aim. I have a lot of
you're hoping to get it out then.
yes,
And
yes.
I was lucky enough to have a friendship with your friend David Guest.
Hmm.
Um, and I just wondered, he did speak to me a lot about you, and I wondered if you have any fond memories of him. You guys were really close, yeah. You grew up together.
Yeah. My partner, I miss him all the time. I think of him constantly. Matter of fact, I was looking through my phone and his number and name came up because I didn't delete it. I don't delete my friends who pass away from my phone book.
No,
You know,
no,
so I think about him and his crazy self. Yeah, we had so much fun, so much life, and
he was certainly very crazy, wasn't he? I once was driving him from here, Lossiemouth to Aberdeen, and I don't think he understood that we don't have massive highways, you know. So he
uh,
he didn't understand this, but along the way he kept asking me if I knew the names of the trees, but he was making up these names, in true David style of these
uh-huh,
trees. And eventually I wasn't answering him because I knew he was, trying to fool me. And eventually I
uh-huh.
said, "No, David, that's not the name of the tree." And he was always just having fun like that. He was quite something.
He's a kid, big kid. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was
And it was it was amazing to me to meet him and work with him. It really was something very, very special.
a great friend, a special friend. Always brought joy to the party.
Yes, very
Yeah.
much. He
Mhm.
always did, and he was a great hustler. He knew what he wanted. He really did.
He was magnificent in that. Yes, he was.
What do you think you miss about him most?
Just his character, the person he was, the
Yeah,
friendship we had, say anything. And we shared a lot of things with each other, secret, our personals. So he was a great person to have in my life.
yeah. And did you find growing up and being as globally successful as you are and have been, did you find or have you found it's difficult to have very close friends that are true?
Yes, that is difficult. and you have friends, and you have to keep your enemies close, and all this other crazy stuff. But I've had a sad life in that area. I should say, because the majority of my friends passed away at a very young age. You know, much younger than David was. So I have a handful of friends that I keep dear, and I keep it that way.
And were these friends in the music business?
Some of them are musicians that never entertained the professional side of the business. So yes.
I remember David once saying to me that he was talking about Michael, your brother, and Whitney Houston, and how I didn't understand the, the side of things with fame and celebrity, and how
Uh-huh.
difficult it was to always, be there for people when you were their friends because there's always so many people around everybody. Um,
Uh-huh.
and that was something that I found very interesting because, of course, that's nothing that I've ever experienced. Um,
Uh-huh.
but he spoke very, very fondly of you, in particular. My brother. He always used to say Tito, my brother. And so, Tito, tell me about your last release, the song that you've just released at the moment. Was
Well,
that
I
the One
haven't.
Way Street?
One Way Street is on the Tito Time album.
Yep.
Yes, it's the mid tempo, I would say, and it's about a relationship that I had. And
Yeah.
that's basically the song. I like the song very much, and others do as well. So there you have it.
Fantastic. And what, apart from the blues album, are you planning? Are you planning anything exciting?
Well, the brothers have quite a few dates that were postponed during the pandemic period. So I usually schedule my career behind them
Okay.
on dates when the brothers aren't working. But as far as me going having solos dates or whatever, I'll be able to put those into schedule once I find out where the brothers are going or what they're doing. But I have plenty of work to do though.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. And does that involve recording all of the time?
Record right now, recording all of the time. As soon as
Wow.
we get off, I'm right back in the studio.
Wow.
Yes,
And do you have a studio there in where you are at the moment?
studio in Calabasas, California.
Okay.
But here I do my recording in the actually in this motorhome
Oh, wow.
that I'm speaking to you from now. I have my equipment here and my computers and interfaces, and it's very portable, but it works.
Yeah.
You know, I have musician friends, blues friends who do tracking for me in other parts of the United States, down in Louisiana, and
Wow.
we send files back and forth and do it that way. It,
And that's the way it is now, isn't it, Tito? It's just that's what we've got to do.
I find I find a lot more difficult and time consuming
Yeah.
to do it this way. It is what it is.
It is, and it's not the getting together and the jamming really, but as
Right.
you say, it's the sending back and forth, which is something. I just, want to say, thank you so much. Just a couple of questions about Michael. It would be wrong of me not to say, you know, how do you cope with, the loss of your brother?
Well, that's very sad for me as well. Um, I miss Michael every day as well. Michael was very special. Nobody really understood Michael but the people that was close to Michael. Uh, I think a lot of Michael's, uh, how would I say, what people have said certain things about it, they have it totally wrong. And They just Can't believe a person can be that genuine and that nice, and that easy, and that giving, that caring. They have him and had him totally wrong. Whenever you have the United States FBI investigate you for 13 years and find you squeaky clean, what more is there to say? I think sometimes, as you can see today, United States is still having a lot of problems with the color issue and things of that nature with Black Lives Matter and this QAnon and Donald Trump and all that thing. So I think my brother was, was misunderstood,
Mm,
understanding, and he lost his life early. And I don't blame just the people that was involved in that death. I blame a lot on the media and things that they said and things they did and how they put it, and knowing that some of the stuff they were putting was not true, how they treated him, and they're gonna miss him. Almost like when you can understand something, you want to get rid of it, and that's exactly what I think happened. They didn't
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
And did music help you at that time? Did it help you when Michael was going through all that he went through?
Well, music was one of the first things from my mind at that time. It was all about my brother being okay.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a gift to have his songs still popular as they are, and his legacy is still as strong as it has never left, and
Oh,
and he would be remembered.
of course. And does his music bring you comfort now?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's certain songs I don't like uh, hearing listening to them, because they bring me sadness.
Yeah.
You know, but other than that, I'm okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, and I cannot wait to hear your blues album. That's something I'm very much looking forward to with all those collaborations. It's
Thank you.
going to be incredible.
Well, thank you.
And
Yes, yes.
Tito, we have as I said, a performing arts college over here. What advice would you give to somebody starting out in the performing arts world now?
Well, everyone I'm sure has always said, "Don't give up." Everybody says that word.
Yeah,
But my whole thing is learn as much as you can, and along the journey, because the education of your path is the best thing you can have, because you'll know where to turn when you don't know.
yeah,
You'll know. So learn everything you can, and true, never give up. If you believe in yourself, that's good enough. There's tons and tons of people who didn't think the Jackson Five would go anywhere. People used to tell us, "You guys all in that little house making all that noise, you're not going nowhere." But they didn't know they were listening to one of the biggest groups and the biggest entertainers of their time and family. So don't give up. Even the best people hear that all the time. You're not gonna make it, or so
yeah.
believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. That's what you have to do. Believe in yourself.
And have you ever found any time in your life or a particular moment in your life where you found that hard to do?
Not really. There's times when I probably get a little frustration, but I've always believed in ability, and that's
Yeah.
what you have. Is the whole show business thing is not easy. It's very difficult, but don't give up.
And if you
Don't give
had
up.
to look back on your fabulous career, Tito, What would be fabulous? I'm taking it's the
I
everything.
have, I have a lot of fabulous, memorable moments as far as accomplishments. One of them is I remember when I was very young, and my classroom was doing my history class was studying about England, and we were learning about the Queen and Buckingham Palace and all these things, you know. And I was able to go over there and come back and share photos with me in the back of Buckingham Palace and, and performing for the Queen, you know,
Wow.
with her right in front of me, you know, looking and bowing to her. So, you know, when you got those type of things as a kid, that makes
Yeah.
you feel really good. Yeah.
And did you come to
So,
Scotland?
oh yeah, we've gone to Scotland. I love fishing in Scotland. I haven't been to any of the lake fishing or anything, but I just love this salmon fishing there. Once
Oh,
I
wow.
went there and we went on a rental boat and did a little fishing. Yeah, but another memorable moment for me would be being having a first consecutive number one records in a row. You know, in the beginning of my career, and then from that point, I would have to say it would be the Victory Tour. You know, that was a very fun tour to be on. You know, doing 3 dates in the city in the biggest arenas, you know, stadiums in the city. And that's the Jackson record that no one really talks about as far as capacity. You know, that type of tours. The Jacksons hold that record, you know, for the Victory Tour. And I will say last, but definitely not least, would be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So
Wow.
uh, you know, so that put it together.
What did that feel
Yeah,
like?
it feel like you got recognized and your work is recognized and you're one of the best out there. Not saying you are the best, but it's not. It's at the time we were inducted, it was only 350, not not groups or artists, but people. So you count the Jackson Five as five people. You don't count them as one. So it wasn't a lot of people. It's not a lot of people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as far
No.
as artists. Not a lot of artists in there. So to have three artists or acts from my family in there, my sister Janet and my brother Michael and the Jackson Five. That's a great accomplishment for me, and I'm proud of that. That's part of my legend.
I should say so. You absolutely are, and you're continuing to make music and be very much part of this industry. Do you
Yes,
think
music. Go
go
ahead.
on,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, no, you go
No,
ahead,
no.
you go ahead.
I, music is very part. It's a string of all Jacksons. So I don't I don't know if we can live without it. You
Yeah,
know, even little ones. You know, if they're like music come on, they even at toddlers they pay attention to it or any type of beat. You know.
and it's a great leveler, music. I've always thought it's something that everybody can really enjoy and, have something get something
Hmm.
from it and feel something for. Ito, I cannot believe that, we're having this conversation. I want to say to you it's wow, makes me quite emotional actually. But after talking to David about you and, hearing about you all my life, um, we'll probably have to cut this bit out, but my goodness me, this is just a dream come true. I'll just get myself together.
Well,
Um,
it's with you too.
so Tito, from me here in Lossiemouth to you in America, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your fabulous life with us and stay safe.
Thank you for the interview. It
Thank you.
was lovely. Thank you very much.